Welcome back to Magic Mishaps episode 7, everyone. Last we left off, the party just defeated the cultist, and they found out that there were other gods and demigods being held, along with some anchors that they had to go get rid of in order to delay the process of Axiom siphoning the god's essence. But let's see what happens in this episode.
Air dry. I can guide you, but only once before the tower learns how.
The dust forms a crude but unmistakable image, a ruined sky spire, half buried in the earth, its upper half shattered and lying like a fallen spear across the ravine. Fragments of floating stone still hover weakly around it, drifting slowly.
Air dry. This was once a conduit of harmony. Now it is a drain.
The image begins to sharpen as the wind sways. They see a blackened vein crystal root embedded deep in the spire, runes overwritten by angular and mathematic sigils, a constant pull like breath drawn inward.
Air dry. Axiom bound this anchor first. It feeds on ambient magic and the residue of belief.
Silra's eyes narrow. So destroying it would starve part of the system.
Air dry. Yes, but it will not be unguarded. It is watched by those who have forgotten themselves.
The dust map shows silhouettes, winged shaped with torn feathers of stone and shadow. Humanoid figures bound into floating ruined frames.
Air dry. A warden remains. Not divine, but built to restrain the divine.
Kale exhales slowly. How far?
The dust stretches outwards, forming distance markers. From the looks of it, it looks like it will be about a 2 days travel from Hamlot, past the Shardfall ravine. And then with one final breeze, the image dissolves. The Fracturebound don't linger much longer. As Hamlot groans around them, crackling stone, misfiring wards, citizens packing lives into bundles and carts as they leave out. The sky shard above the crater holds just barely, though, and our group begins to head on their way. They pass through the outer streets and then beyond the walls onto the broken roads leading to Shardfall ravine. The tower remains visible behind them for miles, always watching. As they reach the final outskirts of Hamlot, there's no wind, no sound. Even Sora's magic goes quiet. The world flattens like a page pressed shut. And then a figure stands in the road ahead. It did not arrive, it just simply appeared there. The figure wears no armor, no robe. Instead, its body edged with floating sigils, orbiting slowly like obedient thoughts. Its face smooth, featureless, save for a single vertical line with light where the mouth should be. When it speaks, its lips do not move. Deviation detected.
Kale draws his sword.
You have observed restricted truths. You intend to damage the structure node.
Silra's wild magic stirs violently. You're not human.
Correct. I am a projection.
Aaron's spores curl inward. A threat?
No, just a warning. The sigils around it reconfigure, forming and shifting diagrams of broken spire. Anchor's destruction will result in widespread magical catastrophes, uncontrolled deity bleed, irreversible systematic collapse. Acceptable losses threshold have been calculated.
Kale steps forward, blade leveled. Not by us.
The figure raises one hand, and then the air splits, revealing a brief vision of Hamlot stabilized, magic regulated, no surges, no screaming skies. Compliance yields stability. And then the vision shifts to the gods, reduced to drifting lights, mortals casting magic by permission only. The tower internal. Freedom is inefficient, he says.
Sora shakes, fury in her eyes. You're not fixing the world. You're overwriting it.
The figure's sigil dims slightly. Correction noted. The figure begins to dissolve, not fading, but being erased from the present. You'll be observed. Interference will escalate. As it vanishes, one final glyph burns itself briefly into the dirt. 7. 7 anchors. And then the world snumps back. Wind returns, birds crying out in alarm. The road lies empty ahead. The road to Shardfall ravine is broken but passable. Ancient stone slabs cracked by time, old sky ruins half buried in the earth like fallen constellations. For the most of the morning the journey is quiet, too quiet.
Sora keeps glancing at her hands.
A scream splits the air, not close, but not that far. Then the sky fractures, not clouds. The color of the sky tears like fabric, revealing streaks of raw arcane light. The ground ahead erupts and blooms into impossible energy. Trees freeze mid-sway, birds turn to glass and shatter. The road melts, then refreezes into twisted angles.
Kale skids to a stop. That's not a surge. That's a failure.
Aaron drops to one knee, gagging his life around her spasms. Aaron, the weave. Snapped here.
About 50 yards ahead lies a wild magic deadfall, a small caravan crossing completely consumed by magical backlash. Inside the zone, a wagon half phased into stone, a horse frozen mid-run, now a statue of salt. 3 figures on the ground. Alive? Maybe. Magic crackles constantly, like lightning trapped in fog.
Sora's chest tightens. Someone cast during a surge cascade. This is what it does when it hits zero control.
A fresh ripple surges outward. I'm gonna go ahead and roll a d6 here and see what happens. Alrighty, cool. Gravity inverts in the zone for several seconds. The wagon lifts, turning upside down and then slams back into the road. One of the figures scream. The zone is unstable and expanding slowly. Within moments, it could swallow the road entirely, cutting off this route to the broken spire. The survivors inside are trapped. The magic is feeding on interference. The surge zone howls, colors invert, sounds stretched, the road screams like metal under strain.
Kale steps forward anyway. We're not leaving them.
Sora swallows hard, her palm burning.
Erin's spores recoil, then flare defiantly.
And then the magic stops screaming, not calming or healing, just paused, as if reality itself has been told to wait. The same figure reappears as the air folds inward. The survivors freeze mid-motion, suspended like figures in amber. Catastrophic instability detected. He gazes past the Fracturebound. Intervention authorized.
Sora's eyes blaze. You caused this.
Incorrect. This is a side effect of incomplete governments. The sigils around the omen expand, forming geometric lattices over the catastrophe zone, angles snapping into place, equations writing themselves into light. The wild magic thrashes against it. Axiom does not soothe the surge. It pins it down. Gravity locks into a single vector. Arcane energy is forced into tight channels. The sky reseals with a sound like stone grinding. The wagon slams back into its proper space. The salt statue horse crumbles, reduced to inert matter. Two surviving people collapse, gasping, as the third one screams as the sigils glow briefly into their skin and then fading.
Erin staggers. You're not healing it. You're amputating the magic.
Correct. With the zone held into place, the Fracturebound move.
Kale hauls one survivor free of the fused wagon wreckage.
Sora braces herself and reaches into the pin surge, carefully pulling a woman whose legs flicker in and out of phase.
A surge tries to trigger. The lattice tightens around it as the surge is suppressed, but causing Sora to take 3 psychic damage from the backlash.
Erin kneels, spores flowing gently now, stabilizing breath, heartbeats, life.
All 3 survivors are pulled clear, alive, shaken, but alive. The figure lowers its hand. The lattice collapses inward, pressing the remaining wild magic into a singular black crystal shard embedded in the road. The surrounding land becomes dull, not dead, but muted. Area stabilized. Magic potency reduced by 63%.
Sora stares at the crystal. You just killed magic here.
No, I prevented suffering. It uncannily turns its attention to them fully now. This is the future you oppose. Observe the efficiency. The projection begins to dissolve, but before it vanishes, it leaves one final statement, direct and deliberate. You'll be offered this choice again with higher stakes. Then it's gone. The road is passable again. The survivors cling to each other, shaken, understandably. So, whispering thinks that they don't fully understand.
Aaron looks at the lifeless crystal embedded in the stone. That place will never grow the same again.
Kale looks ahead toward Shardfall Ravine. But they're alive.
Sora closes her fist.
The road is passable
That's how
again.
it wins.
The survivors cling
By
to
being
each other,
right just
shaken,
often enough.
whispering. They don't notice
Thankful
it
they don't
at first.
fully
The road
understand.
beyond the catastrophe
Aaron,
feels
that place
wrong,
will never
but
grow the same
subtly
again.
so. Sound
Kale looks
travels
ahead
oddly,
toward Shardfall
footsteps
Ravine.
don't echo the
But
way
they're
they
alive.
should.
Sora closes her
Aaron's
fist.
spores drift
That's
and then
how it
sink as if
wins.
the air itself
By
is
being
heavy,
right just often
very near the
enough.
black crystal scar embedded into the stone behind them. They camp that night a cautious distance away. The survivors have already continued on, eager to leave that place behind, leaving the Fracturebound alone. Erin wakes first, not to sound, to absence. Her connection with the living world thins sharply like a numb limb.
Quiet, alarmed something is wrong.
The fire still burns, but it gives no warmth.
Sora sits up, instinctively. Sora, I don't feel the weave at all. Not broke. Missing.
That's when they see it. At the edge of the firelight, the darkness moves incorrectly. A shape crawls out of the night, not stepping into the light as so, but displacing it. It resembles a massive hound, made of stretched shadows and exposed pale stone. Its body segmented like broken statuaries stitched together by the void. Where its eyes should be are hollow sockets that drink in light. The ground beneath it frost cracks as it moves.
Aaron gasps. That thing isn't alive.
Kale rises, sword already in hand.
Sora's voice drops to a whisper. It's not undead either.
The creature lifts its head and sniffs the air, not scent, absence. Then it slowly turns, its attention drifting past them, back towards the distant road, towards the dead magic scar. A familiar voice echoes on the wind. Dead magic is not empty. It's a wound. A wound attracts things that feed on what should be there. And then the creature lets out a sound like grinding marble and exhales as a plume of gray frost.
Kale sets his stance. If it reaches that scar.
Sora nods grimly. It'll grow. Or multiply.
The creature begins to move again, accelerating unnaturally, not towards the party, but towards the place where Axiom amputated magic from this world. This is not a random monster. This is a consequence. It feeds. Then dead magic zones will expand. More creatures like it may emerge. The road to the broken spire could become unstable. If they stop it, they risk fighting something partially immune to magic, while magic may behave very strangely nearby. The creature is almost out of sight, moving fast. And that is where we are going to stop this episode. Let me know what you guys think so far, and as always, don't let things weigh you down.